So the progress at this stage, I've just managed to get the UVA UVB bulb in place, which is actually kind of helpful to help me continue on, not complete darkness. There's the heater lamp in a cage. The shelf's upside down only because I've put a silicone drip around it, so no moisture running underneath the rock will end up managing to work its way into the cable, so that'll be upside down eventually, and hang on those two metal L-shaped brackets. So now I'm going to continue on installing the next few stages. So this is a day I'm going to move my lizard into the new tank. The water system is all set up, all working fine, and the waterfall works. I've started putting a few plants in. I've realised I want to put a few more in, but obviously that depends on the amount of space left. So it's going to be a bit of touch and go trying to get everything over, because I'm using a few bits from the old tank, which is over there, as you can probably see them in there. So I'm using quite a few of the branches and the heat lamp and things like that in there, in the new one. So it's trying to do it causing the least amount of stress to Water Dragon. So I'll show you a video once he's moved in, and then afterwards I'll run through all the products that I've used, and hope that may help. Here it is, mostly finished. Just a few minor adjustments to do. My lizard's in there now, he's hiding, so you probably won't see him. He was within the water within less than an hour and can't seem to keep him out of there. So I have to keep an eye on him, make sure he doesn't end up drowning himself, but obviously they're good swimmers, the water dragons, and hold their breath for a long time, so I'm not too worried. So I've got my thermometer and hydrometer up there in the corner, and I've got the heat lamp on a stand I've had to adjust with a bit of copper pipe just so I can bring it further into the tank, because the Terrarium one isn't long enough to get into there. And so I've got to apologise about the reflection in the glass. Might prevent some of you from seeing some of the detail in there. That's sphagnum moss. I'm not even sure why it's red, because everything I've seen online shows it to be green. So it's mostly finished. The waterfall I've turned off for the time being. The two brackets there, because I'm using a 40-watt bulb for when the turtle arrives in a couple of days' time. That's going to be too high. It won't produce enough heat for the basking area down for his floating platform. So, and the other water's coming in from down behind there, behind the ramp. I've had to try and silicone these ramps on that I've made from bamboo and silicone, because my lizard decides to keeps wanting to wreck them. The slates of silicone down to the glass, just so they don't end up moving and shifting with him walking on them. That's a live plant in there. Names I'll try and look up later on for anyone who wants to know. The moss I've siliconed onto the background. What I've noticed is you really have to try and keep it moist to help keep it alive, because it is live moss. There's a sensor for the heat lamp, which is up there, and there's the controller for it, which sends pulses, so it's not constant. When it flashes, that's when it's heating, and obviously when it's not flashing, it's not. There's the pipework, not so discreetly hidden, for the rainwater system, which is Exoterra again. So there's a land element, which I've used humerus bricks, which you just add water and it expands them. So hopefully, I apologise for the reflection, but hopefully you guys can see a good idea of what this looks like, and hopefully give some people some ideas. Okay, so I'm going to run you through some of the products I've bought that's gone inside the tank or helped build with the tank. There's a 12% UVB UVA bulb, it's 1200 long because it's 1400 wide tank. There's the controller for it, works really well together. I'm guessing it was from the same company, so you'd expect it to. The monsoon system was from a previous tank, which is over there, which I just had 2 nozzles for. I've increased it to 4 nozzles. There's the packaging for them, and as you see, at nearly £8 a time, quite expensive if you want to have the maximum of 6. There they are in there. They do work reasonably well, but you need to be careful you're using the right kind of water so they don't block up. And if they do, then just rinse them with vinegar for a few hours and it seems to clear it up pretty well. There's a ramp made from bamboo and silicone together. A bit problematic, and my lizard seems to be able to destroy them quite quick, hence why it's outside here. There's the Havistat controller for controlling the heat. It pulsates, which is handy so it doesn't end up being too hot in there. And the silicone I've used is gold label. It's £20 a tube, which is quite expensive. One thing I've noticed as opposed to silver label, which I used beforehand, which was only £10, is this one has no odour whatsoever. You can use it underwater, and I don't know if the silver whether you can. Really good, but obviously at £20 you want to be careful where you use it. The filter system I've gone and bought is this by Green Line, JBL. It works reasonably well, have no problems with it so far. Doesn't really come with a lot of pipe in my eyes for what I needed to do, but may suit other purposes. And it's a pump and filter. I had to buy a separate heater for it, which I can't find the packaging for. That works reasonably well. If anyone needs to know the name of that, I can have a look for you. Turtle dock, because I'm getting a turtle later on, was a good idea. Hopefully he won't be too harassed by my water dragon once he's in there. There's a G4 pond sealer, which gave the sort of really dark finish in there that you can see. Can't reasonably well, need 3 coats. You want to allow a day to put that on, but can't really well. That was about £25 a tin, and did the 3 coats on what I needed to do. There's the bark I used, which once again was from my previous tank. Humorous brick that I had to put about 4 in there on top of 2 bags of that. The thermometer I used that goes into the water, and 4 of these cocoa backgrounds, which you can see if you ignore the reflection there. And despite what they say, it's not easy to cut and takes a long time, but it is a rigid board which I siliconed to the tank. So that's just a sample of some of the things I used. I can't find packaging for everything, but if anyone needs to know anything else, please let me know. I thought I'd do one last video of everything when it's complete, well, as complete as can be at the moment. So there's my hydrometer and temperature display. There's my Farron, sphagnum moss, another plant there, I can't remember the name of, another one at the back there. All live plants except for the one in the water there, because the turtle will destroy it. Down here in his usual place, hiding underneath the floating platform, jammed in there is my map turtle. There's the slates of silicone on the edge of the glass that separates the soil. There's my Chinese water dragon. Another live plant. So that's pretty much it for the time being. A few little tinkering and a few other little touches going on, like the foam I've put in, which is just like a filter foam, just to stop crickets escaping, because I seem to have quite a few escaping. I've now plugged that up. Hopefully that will control the amount of crickets escaping. Now I just need to figure out how to keep the midgies out. Other than that, this is it. And lastly, there's the heat lamp for the turtle dock.